My name is Kelsi Hatzenbuhler, and this is my special occasion graduation speech. And this is my audience. Before I begin my speech today, I would like to welcome all the graduates, family members, alumni, and faculty to this ceremony. Without your help, the graduates would not be here today. I plan to embrace this opportunity to speak and offer some advice to the class. All our lives we've been taught to watch and learn. As young kids, we would watch our parents and copy every move they made. In elementary and middle school years, we would let the upperclassmen take the lead and fall in line after them. Getting everything handed up to us has been quite the luxury, but at this time in our lives, most of us find ourselves craving for something more. Wouldn't most of you like to be more than just a statistic, just another dime a dozen individual? That doesn't sound very good to me. We spent our whole lives this far following in others' footsteps. Now it's time for us to make our own path. This craving for freedom started way back in 6th grade when we finally got to move to the big school and make all new friends. Instead of just being surrounded by the same 60 kids every day, we got to pick and choose who we wanted in our lives. Along with that advantage came a lot of responsibility, though, which we weren't exactly familiar with. That initial taste of responsibility is something that has helped shape who we are today and who we aspire to become. It also led us to make our own decisions that didn't always match up with the status quo, which was pretty refreshing in its own. As the years went by, we flew through 7th and 8th grade. We were all starting to get a better feel for who we were as individuals and what everyone else was about too. Being leaders at the middle school gave us a sense of self-confidence we had never felt before, but as the end of 8th grade year came, horror stories of high school haunted many of us. Stories of freshmen getting paddled in the parking lot and being preyed on by upperclassmen kept us up at night as the nerves started to set in approaching freshman year. As it turned out, the stories of freshmen getting paddled were totally false, but the paranoia of being a freshman was totally true. All we ever heard were comments making fun of the freshmen and mocking every move we made, from falling up the stairs to not being able to get into our lockers every day. The freshmen were the talk of the school, and not necessarily in a good way. Because of the urge to fit in and avoid embarrassment, most of us tried anything we could to fit in and dodge the fact that we were the newbies. At that point in high school, that marked the beginning of our lost identities. Somewhere amidst changing ourselves to fit in and keep up with the cool upperclassmen, freshman year came to an end and sophomore year began. Another year of being an underclassman meant another year of blending in. Good news for us was the new technology was making it easier than ever to acquire popularity and cover up who we really were. The amount of followers and number of likes on social media posts soon got to our heads, and before any of us knew it, social media was taking over our lives. Equipped with the latest trends and slang phrases, thanks to Pinterest and Twitter, we entered our junior year. The upperclassmen weren't joking when they said this year was going to be hard. Loaded down with college classes and studied for the ACT, many of us struggled just to keep our head above water. With so much to do and no time to do it, a lot of us turned to the internet to help us with our homework, or we procrastinated by spending hours at a time scrolling through Facebook or looking to see what everyone was posting on their Snapchat stories. Since social media had become such an important aspect of our lives, we often used it to identify ourselves and others. Social statuses were affected, and friendships became acquaintances as face-to-face conversations started to die off. Before we knew it, we survived the ACT, and senior year approached us. We entered this year with excitement because we never thought it would be our time to run the show. Little did we know, this year was jam-packed with a to-do list 5 miles long. September started the endless list of due dates for scholarships and the announcement of test dates for those of us who didn't exactly score 36 on the ACT the first time. Months flew by as we participated in our last ever high school events. Football season ended, snowball passed, and prom approached way too soon. All of our closest relatives and friends demanded answers to questions like, where are you going to school? What are you majoring in? What do you want to do with the rest of your life? As time got going by so fast, many of us began to miss the simpler times when we were the insecure freshmen without any hard decisions to make. We also started to see how much we had all changed over the years and wished we would have taken advantage of the moments we might have let slip by earlier in high school. Today we are taking part in the day we thought would never come, the day we have been dreaming about since kindergarten. Once we walk across the stage today, we will be staring our futures right in the face. Since we have no choice but to live in an overly structured lifestyle that requires asking permission to use the bathroom, many of us are nervous about taking the first step into the future. With the whole world at our fingertips, there are no limits to what we can do. Some of us will proceed to college in the fall. That huge step requires a lot of planning, a lot of goodbyes, and sadly a ton of financial support. We will head to college with a particular income in mind and hope to God it all works out in the end. Others will head straight into the workforce in hopes of finding a steady job that will fulfill their passion, and many of us are still undecided. The feeling of indecisiveness is totally understandable because it's absurd to ask an 18-year-old to decide what they want to do with the rest of their life. Being raised in a society that told us what was acceptable and what wasn't hasn't exactly allowed us to explore ourselves and find something we're truly passionate about. Graduates, today is the day we stop listening to everyone else's opinions. Today is the day we start deciding what's important to us in our life. And today we will start to build lives of our own without anyone telling us what's right and what's wrong. With that said, I would like to propose 3 challenges to all of you today. First of all, I challenge you to be more than your social media page. In today's society, so many people let others define them by the number of likes they get on Instagram, the amount of retweets they get on Twitter, or how many friends they have on Facebook. You are far more magnificent than any social media platform can show. Secondly, break the mold that people have been trying to shape you into all these years. Block out all those negative voices that have been telling you you can't do certain things. Work hard and prove those people wrong. You are far more complex than anyone who is trying to bring you down. Don't let them discourage you. And lastly, find your passion in life and chase it no matter what it takes. No matter what your dream or aspiration, there are going to be challenges that come along with it. Meet those challenges straight on, with your head held high and your heart wide open. It's not enough to just get by in life. That doesn't move the world forward. You must find what makes you happy, despite what others may think, and use it to fulfill your life. Take this amazing opportunity and grasp it today. In closing, I would like to leave you with the wise words of one of the most successful men in the world. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. With the whole life ahead of you, I hope you listen closely to your own inner voice. Thank you."